Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Third Eye Nectar podcast with Wendy and Kannikha, your nectar extractors. Like the hummingbird piercing illusions and the bee illuminating the obscure, we extract nectar from transpersonal psychology, esoteric traditions, psychedelics, dreams, mythologies, earth stewardship, indigenous wisdom, and beyond. Our aim is to pollinate these nectar drops for nourishment, guidance, stewardship, and tools for self discovery for your role on Earth and your place in the cosmos.
Greetings, everybody. Today we have a special episode for all of you because in today's episode, we're going to get to know our fellow nectar extractor, Wendy Barrios, a little bit more deeper. I'm super excited because I've prepared a little bit of a questionnaire to ask her about the various aspects of her journey so we can dive a little bit more into Wendy's essence and, extract some medicine from the essence of Wendy and see what flows out of it. Just a little bit of a bio, I guess that's what they call these days on Wendy, is that Wendy is currently in Colorado, in the beautiful land of Colorado, and she holds a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. And she's also pursuing a postgraduate degree in marriage and family therapy. She also has cultural roots in Guatemala. So you can see that from her top that she's wearing, that represents a little bit of her Guatemalan heritage and also the beautiful tapestry that she's sitting on in the back of her chair. I think that is from Guatemala, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
very
it is.
traditional fabric, I think. Beautiful. Yeah, so Wendy has deep roots from Guatemala. So she has a lot of flavor of the Mayan cosmovision, and the blood of the Mayans are flowing through her and informing us of all of their medicines, speaking through her. All the ancestors from the Mayan heritage are speaking through her. So I'm excited to see what they have to say today and what she has to say today. Wendy, I'm excited.
Hola.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola.
Um,
Thank
hola, hola. Yes, I actually, every time I think that I know you, we have a conversation, and then I'm like, ooh, I did not know this layer of Wendy. So today I'm excited to see what comes out. And the first thing I want to know is, what is your current offering to the world?
Well, first, thank you so much for the intro and just speaking to this. And yeah, we're finally getting to this little exchange, right, of our story. And I think the offering that I have that has been, I think, years in the making, um, is really dedicated to this place of service and helping others really find their authentic selves within self-reflection, with deepening and healing and excavation of their experiences and their purpose. And like that's the first thing I kind of think of. And at the same time, uh, the offering of my own unfolding, of my own introspection and what I've learned over the years through just studies.
Yeah.
And so it's been a lot these last couple years, last few years, and it's just kind of all weaving together now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I love that, you brought in the aspect of your personal journey as well into your offering. I think that is what we're all weaving is our own personal stories and offerings and giving the best and the essence, the medicine of it to the world. And so I know that part of that essence is also in helping couples with their relationships in marriage and family therapy specifically. So what ignited this passion for you?
Ooh,
First
yeah.
of all, are you passionate about it? I'm guessing it's a yes.
Well, it's funny because I never thought I would get here. I mean, I think part of my story does come from this place of the wounded healer,
Mm, mm,
which I think many therapists or healers kind of touch into of like what drives them forward into the work and passion that they do is from maybe some personal experience. And so, um, like the wounded healer of myself, it looks at it as like my parents' divorce was a hard time. It was about I don't know, 8 or 9 when it began, the separation of our family, um, which was a big rupture, and it was a very difficult time. And it stems from there, which I didn't realize how much that had impacted me growing up until I finally came onto this so-called spiritual journey of like, I want to know so much more about myself.
mm,
And it led me in many directions. But what I have found myself coming to was this work with plant medicines and ancestral healing and family healing that when I went through that work, it led me to school. It led me to an internship. There's this pooling, this
mm,
something about the ancestral healing lines was calling me forward. And it has been I think 6, 7 years now of
mm,
contemplation, of now seeing where my path was taking me, and now being in this place of working with couples and families that I'm like, oh my gosh, of course, of course, it would
yeah.
like now I'm here. So yeah, and am I passionate about? I love it, and it's challenging, and there's so much
Mm,
in it. And sometimes it's really hard to be in that space, and I find those moments of glimmer of connection or of healing, or um, and sometimes I don't, and that when we're sitting in that too. So there's a lot in that from my own personal experience, but kind of a little bit of the background of how I got to this work.
mm. That is so beautiful, isn't it? Like you went from exploring about you, questioning yourself, going through plant medicines and ancestral healing and then ending up with looking at the bond between people in terms of marriage and love and relationships. And I love that you said that it's the wounded healer coming through and really wanting to work through you. I can see that so much in you because from my personal experience, whenever I'm, like opening my heart and sharing something with you, you just like listen so deeply and so profoundly. And I think that's one of the hallmarks of, especially when you're doing couples therapy, is like listening to both parties. And I love that you have that innate nature to hold people in that space. It's not easy, but I'm glad you're doing it. I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad you're doing it. And I wanted to ask you, the next question is like, what is one incident that you can say which changed the trajectory of your life? And maybe you answered it by saying it was your parents' divorce, but I'm curious to hear from you. Do you have an incident?
An incident that changed the trajectory of my life. Oh, yes. At least the one that I think about is when I first sat with ayahuasca.
Mm,
That I mean, sitting with ayahuasca kind of did change the trajectory that I was going in because previously I had been studying physical therapy
mm,
and I was really set on the body work and I had applied to graduate doctorate programs 3 years in a row and did not get in. And so it was like roadblock after roadblock. There was something that I felt like was still missing.
mm,
And when I sat with ayahuasca, that it did show me that something was missing and that there was another path. And I still didn't know, like it took time even through that experience to figure out what that was. But essentially, plant medicines led me to study transpersonal psychology. And it's what initially led me to Colorado by so many different synchronicities that I could
mhm,
not look at it. It was just like, then it was showing, like, first it was like, okay, roadblock, and maybe this isn't the way until synchronicity led to like this open path of like following it as
mm,
breadcrumbs. And I'm so glad that it did because I definitely feel more aligned with the work that I'm doing now.
mm, mm. So it's like you were being directed into completely a different, what looked like a different trajectory, but it brought you back to what you really were supposed to be doing, I think.
Yeah, I like the rejection from doctorate programs, like 3 years in a I had reframed it as rejection is redirection.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what I made sense of at the time. And
Yeah.
it feels very true.
Mm. No, I'm glad that you're here because I think if you had taken grad school and gone into physical therapy, I don't think you and I would have met. Or maybe we would have, but I don't see a chance. So I'm glad you followed the breadcrumbs here, Wendy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think about that lifestyle, and I think somewhere it would have led me back to kind of where I'm going now, I feel like.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, I also I think it would be a very different life too.
definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you for answering that question. I want to ask you about initiations. I know you and I have talked quite a bit about initiations, and we also wanted to do an episode about it. And we all go through different kinds of initiations in our life through different incidents that can be mega explosive or even very small. So I want to ask you, what is one of the most profound initiations you've had in your life?
Wow.
That changed you and your outlook.
Yeah. There's two that kind of come up, and they're both um, very similar as it pertains to having to go through a surgery. One with my gallbladder, and the other with my um, ruptured Achilles tendon. And when I think of initiations and why I think of those two experiences is because it touched on of course, my physical body in very invasive ways of having to physically heal. But I also went through like a whole mental and spiritual clearing with these experiences of the impermanence of my body.
Mm,
And it stretched me into ways of having to pivot, having to recognize the, that the the day-to-day tasks and what I'm capable of doing have a big impact when my health is not going well or there's some sort of challenge. And so I think of it as some form of soul initiation of like, okay, it's also like a change in mindset and a big surrender and trust of I had planned of seeing life in a way, um, whether it's the rest of the year, how it's going to map out and what I'm looking at and the goals that I have it set. Um, and both of these experiences where were very challenging. I had to um, reassess what I was doing, and it asked of more of me. It asked,
Mm.
I almost felt like I was like walking through fire
Mm.
in these times, and it really, with that fire, it really like alchemized these limited beliefs I had on myself and what I was capable of doing in a way that I don't know, like it catapulted me forward of like there's more here, there's more available to you, and how what do you want to do with it? And it asked
Mm.
me to really rest and take the time to go
Mm.
inward,
Mm.
which was it was like, oh, okay, like okay, I really have to sit with myself in all of these ways. And so the initiation of getting to know myself more and more through these surgeries.
Mm. Mm. Is it also like, did it also teach you about the body and the relationship with which we have with our body, and how we can actually take our body for granted?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And, I worked, and this ties in with like my past of what I was studying as
I was
physical
gonna ask you.
therapy
Yeah.
because it showed me that I didn't go into doctorate programs, but I was working in physical therapy for about 7, 8 years in multidisciplinary settings, outpatient, inpatient, internships, working alongside doctors and nurses and PTs and chiropractors and acupuncturists. I have worked in many different settings and also have an elder who in Guatemala, Nana Berta Navichok, who's a bone setter and wasera. And it brought me back into this almost like the studies I had gone before, it was never lost because I didn't
Mm.
get into grad or doctorate programs of PT. It's like it also brought out of like use what you have learned still, like this is still within you. And even within myself going to physical therapy in recovery, it it really tested me and pushed me to the edges and like I could understand more of what people empathize more with people and their bodies and um, yeah, how much we do take our bodies for granted.
Yeah.
And so it brought me back into this world of like focus and recovery towards my body and like also knowing that there were times where I didn't want to do the exercises and I didn't want
Yeah.
to do the things. So again, it was very humbling experience to to go through.
Mm. Wow. I'm actually very curious about the Huasera that you talked about from Guatemala, and with your background in physical therapy, and then like, you going back to your ancestry and the roots in a way. So did you train with this bone setter, bone doctor?
Yeah, Nana Berta, she's such a sweet friend and teacher, and she's the cloth that you see, the rebozo here, is from the Sutu Maya, which is from the Lago Atitlan, Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. So she lives there in a pueblo called San Pedro. And we've connected through my cousin, and he's the one that made an introduction. And when her and I met, we it was just like a remembering. And it was
Mm,
very sweet. And there's lots of other synchronicities, I would say, that um, that made this connection. And one of our first engagements, I asked if I could take her out to lunch and like just hear her story and her experiences of um she's a Waseta, so in the Mayan culture, it's called a dawn, and dawn is like your spiritual gift, like
mm,
almost like your spiritual mission. And it's some of these dawns are you can't like you don't choose it. It's
yeah.
like it chooses you, it chooses you. And so um she is a bone setter, and I would say her specialty is like working with joints. So she is a community healer, and she sees people who have had injuries and fractures and things. And so um, yeah, we have a close relationship, and I have seen and have learned with her about certain injuries and um, with tendons and ligaments as well, and bone fractures. And it blows me away of like the work that she does. And it's very like uncomfortable. She uses a tool that puts on your body, and it kind of like detects where it needs to be worked on. And so she was kind of just sharing with her stories, and what we bonded over was that we have both fractured our wrists.
Mm,
And so her story, I hope to one day, like, I don't know, maybe have her share her
yeah.
story on Third Eye Nectar too, but she has gone through a lot of injuries herself to understand the body,
Mm,
healing ways. And so I have learned some body work stuff with her, and she's a very sweet woman.
the wounded healer. Again, she had to go through all of those
Yes.
fractures and injuries to learn more about her own body. That is fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing your relationship with Nana Berta.
Nana Berta, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we hope to hear from her one day on Third Eye Nectar and share her essence with everybody. I
Yes.
just want to ask a lighter question. What is your favorite color, Wendy?
Ooh, my favorite color? I would say like a violet. I really love purples. Yeah, I'd say around there.
Why is that? Why do you like purple?
It is just something like at least currently I feel like I've been kind of drawn to. I feel like there's definitely been different times and ages that my favorite color changes. I don't think it
Yeah.
ever stays, right? At least. Um, but there's something about the hues of the color purple, and I have some lavender out in my front yard. Also
Mm,
like the softness of it. I'm reminded of like just like these florals that kind of come to my eye when I think of purple.
I love that. Yeah. And I think Guatemala has a lot of shades of purple too, right? And they're dyeing and in the
Oh,
wool and in the
yeah,
fabrics.
in the tejidos and the textiles. Yeah. Oh, here's some purple. You can't really see, but there's some purple. But yeah, they're definitely different colors in the textiles, and they feel very vibrant.
Mm. Love that. Love that you love purple. Um, yeah, so this question, it just came to me when you said purple. Uh, you have roots that are from Guatemala, from the Mayan culture and their cosmovision. What is one thing that you want to bring out from their cosmovision into your life? Like, what is one thing that you want to integrate?
Ooh, um, wow. It's a beautiful question, and there's so many.
Mm,
Um, but one thing I've been sitting with actually this week has really so it's like finding beauty in the basic.
mm,
I think it's just like one reflection of how um, you know, look like the beauty way, also like looking at how beautiful
mm,
things can be created. That's very collaborative, whether with people or with the earth and materials. And
mm,
they, in many of the Maya traditions is really big on offerings
mm,
and floral offerings, floral mandalas.
mm,
And the way that they set it up too for like the fire is, oh, it's gorgeous. It's like each piece of the seed, each of these leaves or these petals or the candles is an offering to spirit, is an offering to this connection of the divine. And so I think there's kind of like two here. It's like finding beauty in the basics and offering. Like
mm.
how can we have this in communication? So that's something I would love to continue to nourish, continue to integrate, continue to um, experience with.
Yeah, that moved me so much because thank you for, first of all, bringing that wisdom out for all of us, the beauty way and the way of the offering. It really, really moved me because I've been going through something, as I shared before, for the past 3 weeks now. And one of the things that's been really coming forth as a lesson is the beauty. How I am like bypassing aspects of beauty around me in order to get stuck in my own head. And the lessons that have been coming to me is really enjoy the beauty, like look for the beauty in things and, look for the beauty within. Um, and also, in terms of how I express myself, either through clothing or my hair or my words, look for the beauty, look for the medicine and everything. So I'm really, really touched and thrilled that you brought that out for us.
Yeah, thank you for receiving it. And yeah, thanks for the question. Um, yeah, I
Is
hold that
there a
one.
is there a specific way that they say in the Mayan language the beauty way? Is there a saying or a
Um, oh, I don't have a saying kind of, well, it's like earth flowering, like
mm,
I have heard it in like the Sutuhil language, but I don't know how to say it. Um, and something that have also heard like different elders is just like speak. It's not like the phrase, but this idea of like speaking to nature in a very like poetic and loving way
mm,
to hold that beauty, to hold
mm,
that love and generosity of connection.
mm, a very mystical culture, I feel like, right? Like a very mystic sort of like even a right-brained or a feminine or even an integrated aspect of looking at the earth and their communion with the earth. That's what I'm sensing.
Yeah, it's like Earth as a lover.
Mm, I like that. Yes. Mm, mm. When I say God, what does that make you feel? What what is God for you?
Well, I just found myself taking like a very deep breath. And so my first thought is like breath.
Mm,
But I also kind of expand further into, oh my gosh, like the unseen, like this loving force, this um larger energy that goes beyond the self, that that has created all.
mm,
And so yeah, I've been like the creator. I think of like God, I think of like the creator, the creatrix,
mm,
all encompassing. Um, that holds us all, that carries us all. And also like I think of that as like a larger energy. And I also think of it like on a like a micro level too, like that energy within us.
mm,
Like we are also these creators and creatrixes. Um, and so yeah, I think of those things.
mm. Do you have a daily relationship with God? If so, what does it look like?
Yeah, I think it changes day to day.
Yeah.
Um, I think there are moments like this morning I had a moment where I would say that was a moment of connecting.
Mm,
And it was really a very like I was walking down the sidewalk to go pick up my mail and there was just this moment of like pause and awe because a bird flew right across and I just saw the bird land on a branch of a tree, but it was the movement
mm,
of the branch kind of like it was kind of like a little bit of a bounce and the bird was like bouncing on it because of its weight. And I stopped in my track. I stopped in my steps and I just looked and it was the moment of awe looking at the vibrant colors of the green leaves.
mm,
For me, that was a moment of I say awe and connection because I was like taking it in. I was like, okay. And so I see it in all around me. I see it in just different moments. And I mean, there's many different ways. And it's like also when I connect deeper to myself or deeper into my ancestry or even within relation, I could just always find these moments of where God or creator is just in this magic sense. Yeah.
mm. Love that. Thank you for sharing. I I could actually picture the bird flying and landing on the branch and the branch swaying. So now you've passed that story of God to me. I love it.
It's like so sweet. I'm like, yes, like this is it. Like this is
I love that. This is it. This is it. Speaking of this is it, what's your favorite food?
Oh.
Totally random.
Oh my gosh, I'm such a sucker for Thai food. I love pad Thai. I love pad see ew. I love just like rice noodles and like this yummy sauce with broccoli and carrots or yellow curry.
Mm,
Yeah, I can have that all the time.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. I love Thai food too. Um, what is one memory that you have where you felt the deepest joy?
Deepest joy. Hmm. Yeah, I think what comes to me is just this like uncontrollable laughter with my nephews
Mm,
and just we were all walking at the beach once and like just playing like just getting our feet wet and like running from the waves and coming back, and it was just such a perfect day. Like the sun was setting and we were just like jumping around, splashing in the water, and I don't see them very much, but when I am in proximity of, I think, children and deep laughter and imagination of play, it's just so fun. It's like
mm,
such great reminders. I think, yeah, it was just a sweet time.
I love that. Now I'm gonna take you on the other side of the pendulum and ask you, what is one memory where you felt like the deepest sadness?
Oh, wow. Deepest sadness. Whoa. Um, hmm. Um, I think the one that comes to my mind is um I like smile because it's also like a remembering of my friend Blake who
Mm,
passed away, and he's just such a dear spirit and friend. He's my brother's best friend, but we had a very close relationship as well, and it was just out of the blue.
mm,
And that brought on a lot of sadness, and also, yeah, I think the loss just reminds me of how much love there is there.
yeah. Mm. Remembering Blake through this conversation today.
Yeah.
And yeah, trusting that he is swimming in the most beautiful cosmic psychedelic waters.
He so is.
Yeah, enjoying his god nature.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yes.
feel that.
Yeah. So remembering Blake and passing on to the next question. What are you planting right now as seeds that you are hoping to nurture throughout this year, or a dream or a vision?
Yeah, I feel what's coming through is creating more space for joy, creating more
Mm,
space for following the trail of authenticity of who I am and the work that lights me up. And so I feel like I have come to a place as I'm closing the post-grad degree in marriage and family therapy and doing a lot more psychedelic integration work. Um, I'm finding more of my own rhythm And I just want to nourish all the parts of me that I feel have been a little shy or hiding, or maybe these places of feeling small, but
Mm,
to invite all of those parts and to find to integrate play in it all.
mm.
Because I think this work in healing can be so serious and so deep, and like I just want to make more room for the lightheartedness and the laughter of it all.
I love that. I love that vision and seeding, and I'm with you on that journey and wishing you so many blessings for all of that to play really well.
Thank you.
What is your vision for humanity and Earth?
Hmm. That maybe we all find these access points into our hearts, and may that we see through our eyes that we're not very different from each other, and when we can access places of love within ourselves, we gain more access of love to the other in all of our relations. And that may we come back to the love of earth and our home, and work together on how to protect and regenerate. Yeah, all through the window of love.
Mm, that's such a beautiful message. And I really want to thank you for sharing that with us. And one final question before we close off this beautiful conversation
Okay.
is what is a message that you have for all of us today?
Hmm. That wherever you are on the journey, know that there are ways in asking for help.
Mm.
Know that you're worthy, that you belong here, that there's a place here for you, and that brighter days will come.
Mm.
Yeah.
I thought the question was, what message do you have for all of us? I thought you were speaking just to me. But I'm sure it's a message for all of us. No, that was great. I was like, as you were speaking to me, it was piercing my heart. I was like, oh my God, how does she know that I don't like asking for help?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that beautiful message. Um, and yeah, to everybody listening, Wendy is available if you feel like you want to connect with her and get her help in any way. You can check out her website, which we will put in the description box. And you can also connect with her on Instagram, communicate with her, and she's always available to help. She's such a beautiful soul, wonderful soul who's very committed to her path, her journey, and she does the work, and she puts in the work for both herself and for the community. And I'm so grateful that she was open and willing to co-create this whole beautiful third eye nectar journey with me. I really enjoyed getting to know you, Wendy. There's so much that I've learned about you that just put me in awe, that I haven't seen certain aspects of you in that way. So thank you for opening up and sharing some of your beautiful essence with all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for these beautiful questions. And yes, if anyone would like to stay connected or reach out, would love to hear from you. Would love to support in any way I can, or just, yeah, just connect. I would love to. And thank you, Kannikha. I love Third Eye Nectar and what we have going on. And I know we're just getting started, and I look forward to also interviewing you on the next one.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Let's see what comes out in that interview. But today I had such a great time. Um, and so many aspects of what you said, it really, really touched me and moved me, and it felt like a lot of affirmations for whatever it is that I'm personally going through as well. So thank you for supporting me in that. And here is wishing Wendy a lot of blessings, a lot of love, and a lot of opening into abundance and prosperity for all the work that she's doing, for all of us, opening her heart and being so generous with her time and energy and smile and healing and listening. So wishing you all the prosperity, Wendy. We love you. I love you. And thank you so much for this beautiful communion.
Thank you so much. Till next time.
Until next time, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Nectarines! We enjoyed this nectar extraction, and if you found this helpful and valuable, please subscribe and drop us a comment. Be the first to listen when new episodes are released. If you know of anyone who would enjoy vibing out with us, please share this nectar with them. We love you and catch you in the next nectar drop.